Hello people, today I'm going to be doing a video that I haven't done in 2 years, and that is my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. I didn't do one last year just because I was just so excited for Dune Part 2, I literally couldn't think of any other movie at the beginning of that year. So I was just like, Dune Part 2, yes, let's go. And in all honesty, 2024 didn't have the best lineup of movies, when it comes to something that you can anticipate. I'm not going to know that this one independent filmmaker is getting together a small crew with two actors that I've heard of. I don't know that that movie's gonna be good until it hits the award circuit. So a lot of these are just blockbusters or established artsy filmmakers that I like. So it's hard to exactly to look at all these awards plays and be like, yeah, that one's gonna be good, that one's gonna be good, just because they're smaller productions. So obviously we know a little bit more about the blockbusters, the franchises, continuations. And so I don't want to sound like that nerd that's just gushing and looking forward to sequels, but I think a good amount of these are not sequels. I'm wrong. Only three of them are not sequels. Well, you can maybe four, but five. Actually, half this list is not sequels, so there we go. Yeah, so let's just get into it. My number 10 most anticipated movie of 2025 is, if it is released in 2025, but it should be, and that is Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out Mystery. I really enjoyed both of the Knives Out films. I don't think either one have disappointed. Knives Out, the first one, was a pleasant surprise, and welcome surprise with the star-studded cast, and just a all-around just fantastic time at the movies. Glass Onion was almost just as good a time. It wasn't quite as good, but it changed things up the way a sequel needed to, and even if you call it a sequel, because it's just another mystery. And I think Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson can do as many of these as they like. I have no idea what Wake Up Dead Man is, but I'm sure it's going to be incredibly fun. Maybe not even as good as Glass Onion, but even if it's not as good as Glass Onion, all it has to be is an 8 out of 10. So it's a guaranteed. For me, it feels like it's going to be a guaranteed thumbs up on my end, so I'm really looking forward to that. Coming in at number 5 is one that I really don't know how excited for it, but I am for it, but I'm really looking forward to how they're going to approach this movie. It's a Marvel Studios film, and that is Fantastic Four. Part of me wanted to put Thunderbolts in replacement here because I think the Thunderbolts trailer is fantastic. That was another movie I wanted to put on this list, and yet this movie doesn't have a trailer yet, but all the placements are there. I think Matt Shankman was a pretty good choice. The snippets of the score that we listened to from Michael Giacchino was fantastic. I think they're really trying to make this movie great, Marvel Studios. So that's why I push this one ahead, because there's a lot of hype for finally getting a good adaptation of these characters and do them justice. So I'm looking forward to that. I've seen Fantastic Four, nothing but bad iterations my entire life. And so I'm excited to see what we can do with these characters with maybe a little bit more sauce. I know I'm saying that about an MCU movie, but hey, hopefully it lives up to what fans want it to be and what I want it to be. And coming in at number 8 is another movie that might not be a 2025 release, but if it is, I want it to be on here. If it does come out in 2025, it's going to be late, and that is Eddington. All I know is Joaquin Phoenix and Ari Aster getting back together. Who else is in the cast? Emma Stone, Austin Butler, Pedro Pascal. Heck yeah. That sounds like a really fun movie. I love Ari Aster, even the movies that people don't love of his, like Beau is Afraid. I love it, so I'm very much looking forward to Eddington. And now, coming in at number 7 is The Smashing Machine, directed by Benny Safdie and starring The Rock and Emily Blunt. I have no idea how this is going to be, because the Safdies have split. Benny Safdie cast The Rock in this, and so I'm curious to see if it was the combination of the Safdies really making these usually comedic actors do such great job, or if it was one Safdie, or if they both can do it on their own. But I'm thinking maybe Benny Safdie was the one getting these performances out of these people who sometimes don't even act, because he's making casting choices like Dwayne Johnson to someone who's just kind of a personality actor, someone that you don't really consider an actor, more of a personality that you throw on a screen so people can laugh, versus Josh Safdie is going a little bit more towards the Hollywood type of casting. Not to say that neither one of them, oh, this director is good and this director is bad, because I think they're both fantastic. I am looking forward to the Smashing Machine. I really hope The Rock just blows my mind with his acting chops, and Benny Safdie was really able to get a high energy type of boxing movie. Boxing plus Uncut Gems, one of the Uncut Gems directors, sounds like a very, very good time. So I'm incredibly excited to see what they're going to do with that. Coming in at number 6 is a movie trailer came out a few weeks ago. I was sold, and that is 28 Years Later. Have I seen 28 Days Later? No, I have not. Have I seen 28 Weeks Later? No, I have not. I'm definitely going to check them out sometime soon. But even if I hate both of those movies, I am still really looking forward to 28 Years Later. I loved the trailer so much. It's beautiful looking. And this movie was shot on an iPhone 15, but it doesn't feel like it feels that narrative of like, oh, see, iPhones are getting good. I think it's more of a testament of like how talented of a cinematographer that they have. I mean, I know they say, oh, we use some lens attachments, and of course the lens was like this long, so you can give that as well, but it's more of a flex of the cinematographer rather than a flex of an iPhone to me. I am excited for zombies and Aaron Taylor Johnson saving kids, and gritty, dark tone. It seems like it's a very dark movie, and that's all I needed. The trailer just honestly sold me. Watch the trailer if you haven't seen it, and that will basically make any point that I'm trying to make. Coming in at number 5, Mickey 17. After 8,372 delays, finally have this movie. It should be coming out in March. Another movie that it switched with, Sinners. I wanted to make the list. I couldn't do it. I just didn't have the room. But Mickey 17 looks like it's a ton of fun, and I just trust Bong Joon-ho. Ever since Parasite, I don't think I've even seen any other Bong Joon-ho film, which I know sounds awful because of how good Parasite was. It's one of those movies that was so good. I am down for seeing whatever he's doing next. I need to see Snowpiercer. I need to see Okja. I think is the other one. I'm sure he's done other works before. I'm curious at the same time if there's like a language gap for when he's directing a movie that's primarily in English, if there's any quality difference because of the communication, because that's what directors do, or maybe he's just, he's Bong Joon-ho, he'll be able to do it even if there is kind of a language barrier. Trailer looks great, looks fun. Coming in at number 4 is the other Safdie brother, I didn't forget about him, Marty Supreme. The way that this movie's been described by the cast and crew and the way it's been pitched is all I needed to hear. Like, apparently they described it as like Uncut Gems plus Wolf of Wall Street, and I think they added another movie in there, but those are the only two I needed to hear, and I was like absolutely down for it. Even the way that Timothy Chalamet recently was describing his on-set experience with Marty Supreme just made me even more excited for it. He was just saying how rigorous it was. It was the way that Josh Safdie really pushed them to consistently do better. Even though if he already is Timothy Chalamet, the way that he said he was pushed with that movie and with the way it has been pitched, it makes me incredibly excited for it. Coming in at number 3, these top 3 are like the 3 I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to be there opening night, and I'm going to be super giddy, and that number 3 is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I've loved, ever since Christopher McQuarrie's been attached to the Mission Impossible franchise, I've just really fell in love with it. Even the ones beforehand. Fallout is one of my favorite action movies of all time. I don't think this will be as good as Fallout. I don't think they'll ever top Fallout. As long as if it's good as Dead Reckoning Part 1, I'm going to be a really happy camper, and I'm a sucker for conclusions, so I'm really looking forward to The Final Reckoning. I just hope Ethan Hunt doesn't die. Give him a happy ending, good lord. But let's hope it's not a no time to die situation. Yeah, the action looks insane. The aerial sequences look beautiful. I'm just really excited, and I can't wait for another trailer. Coming in at number 2 is Avatar: Fire and Ash. I loved The Way of Water. I think the first Avatar is really solid. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do with this third film. And then I'll be even more excited for the fourth film, because apparently that's the one that, even though number 3 isn't out yet, the studio's already gushing over the fourth one that James Cameron that has written. I'm curious if this one's going to be 3 hours as well. Maybe it'll be shorter. Maybe it'll be longer. It's going to be in between Way of Water and the fourth one. Is it going to be its own story? I have no idea what to expect. I know we're going to explore more of Pandora, and one thing's for sure, it's going to be one of the most visually gorgeous things I have ever seen in my entire life. And that is a major stem of my excitement. Way of Water in Dolby 3D was just gorgeous, and I cannot even wait. I just can't wait to go back, get more story, get more into these characters, and be ready for the chapter 4. Number 1, my most anticipated movie of the year, James Gunn's Superman. I am so excited. I hate to do this to the Zack Snyder fans. I'm sorry. Don't type your way in the comments. I'll get comments. I like Man of Steel. I really like Man of Steel. I think it's a great movie. I thought Henry Cavill made for a solid Superman under Zack Snyder's vision. That's Zack Snyder's vision, and that I really liked that. James Gunn's vision is completely different, and I really like the way that that's looking so far as well. I'm not going to say one's better than the other because I haven't seen the movie yet. I could totally like this as much as Man of Steel. I might like it better. Who knows? I just know that I really trust the way that James Gunn's approaching this. I think he's smart enough to know that he's not making another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He's not making the Suicide Squad again. He's making a Superman movie, and that shows in the trailer. It's taking itself a little bit more seriously. He knows how to shoot action sequences really well. People make fun of the cinematographer for this movie. Oh, he did The Flash, but he also did the other Guardians films, which look great. A lot of the Flash's issue with the cinematography was the fact that the CGI looks like crap. The CGI in Superman looks great so far. I'm really excited to see David, I can't say his last name yet, starts with a C. I'm excited to see how he does as Superman. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor looks like it's almost perfect casting. I'm really looking forward to the comic booky feel that James Gunn is really, really good at and has gotten really good with his last few movies. I'm super looking forward to Superman. I think it's going to be colorful, loud, sad, happy. It's going to be all the kinds of emotions. The fact that we have somebody who's also a part of the studio making a movie sounds like a dream come true. And I've constantly said this. He kind of has no excuses for this movie not to be great because when he has so much control over this, I trust in James Gunn. Warner Brothers has shown that they trust him. They put a filmmaker in charge of the studio, well, partly in charge of a studio. You don't do that unless if you really trust a guy. And, he has proven that he's somebody who can be trusted. You can complain about Superman's trunks all day long. It's a comic book. Get over it. I don't even care that much about the costume design. I mean, the costume design to me looks like Superman. That's all it needs to do for me. I'm just really looking forward to the Heart and Soul Crypto. I didn't even know he was a thing. I'm not like a big Superman comics guy, but I've seen adaptations. I like superheroes in general. I watch the movies and shows, so welcoming Crypto with a open heart. Anyways, those are my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2025. Comment down below what your top 10 are. I'm sure, like I said, there's stuff I missed. I'm really looking forward to, like I said, to Thunderbolts, Sinners, F1. If those other movies I mentioned don't come out in 2025, then what would have made it. Like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that. And adios.